Are you a U.S. veteran? Are you having issues with a disability, health insurance, your finances, or just curious about what veterans qualify for? A lot of the most important benefits, like health and disability, will depend upon something called character of service, printed on your DD-214 form. If your discharge is anything other than honorable, you can challenge this through a discharge upgrade. You'll need an attorney for this. So first we have health insurance. The VA provides health care for service-connected injuries. This is an injury that was sustained or aggravated during service. Veterans who have a pretty serious disability, rated 50% disabled, can get all of their care at the VA free of charge, while veterans with less serious disabilities can get them treated at the VA free of charge. Everything else will have some kind of cost share, like a copayment. If you are low income, you may qualify for free or reduced cost VA health care, even if you don't have a service-connected injury. Next up is disability. You can get disability payments called service-connected or non-service-connected disability. Disabilities that are service-connected means the disability either developed or was aggravated during active duty. Some veterans also might be able to get a pension for disabilities that are not service-related, but this will depend on their income and when they served. This is sometimes referred to as a pension. If you are a surviving family member of a veteran who passed away due to a service-related injury or illness, then you may be entitled to survivor's benefits. Learn more about survivor benefits here. If you are a veteran, make sure your family knows about this and how to apply should you pass away. Then, of course, there are education benefits. You've got the GI Bill, which helps pay for higher education for veterans. And Texas has the Hazelwood Legacy Act, which can help pay for education for veterans' dependents. Then we've got aid and attendance. This is another benefit for disabled veterans. But instead of replacing lost income, it's about helping you out in other ways, like if you need help with daily activities, or if you're housebound. If you qualify, you can get this in addition to other disability benefits. In Texas, we have 8 veterans' homes that provide affordable, long-term nursing care for qualified veterans, spouses, and Gold Star parents. Those are the crucial benefits. In Texas, veterans have lots of other smaller benefits that can still be useful and save you a lot of time and money. These include a property tax exemption, disabled car plates, toll tags to get you through road tolls for free, VA home loans, free Texas fishing and hunting licenses, a free Texas driver's license or ID card, and even free admission to Texas state parks. It's important to note that requirements for these benefits can be pretty complicated. Head to Texas Law Help for more information and referrals. Veterans get into legal trouble just like everyone else, but there are some resources and things to look out for that can help them navigate the system and improve their outcomes. Veterans Treatment Courts are special courts designed to take into account the unique circumstances of veterans, when the crime involved may have had a direct association with unique traumas that led to self-medication by veterans, usually crimes related to PTSD, traumatic brain injury, and mental health. These exist in about 40 counties in Texas. How these work vary county by county. In some places, you can get diverted to the treatment court after your arrest and arraignment. In other places, you need to plead guilty before accessing the treatment court. To learn more about the treatment courts, check out the map on the TexVet website. Record clearing can also benefit veterans. You can do this in 2 ways. First, expunction is the removal of information about a charge from your criminal history. This means it won't show up on things like background checks for jobs, though it may still show up on other more sensitive background checks, like for government security clearances. Generally, charges are eligible for expunsion if 1. Your charge was dismissed, 2. You were acquitted, found not guilty at trial, or 3. A grand jury failed to indict you. And there are some other factors that affect eligibility, like whether the dismissed charge happened at the same time another offense you were convicted for, or whether the statute of limitations has run. Second, non-disclosure is the sealing of a charge. This means that the charge technically stays on your record, but information about it will no longer be available to the public. After a successful non-disclosure, for most common purposes, such as employment or housing applications, you can legally deny the incident occurred, and the charge should not appear on a standard background check. but it still may appear when you're dealing with law enforcement or government agencies. Eligibility for non-disclosure depends on several factors, such as the type of charge, results of the case, and other criminal history. Now let's talk about restoring a suspended driver's license. If your license is suspended for outstanding Class C tickets, you may be able to get it restored. First, you need to pay the tickets, or if you can't afford them, ask the court to waive them or give you community service instead. If your license is still suspended, you may qualify to apply for something called an occupational driver's license, a special restricted license that lets you drive a non-commercial vehicle for work, school, or to perform essential household duties. Expunction, non-disclosure, and driver's license laws are complex. For more information and support, head to the Texas Law Help website. U.S. veterans have access to disability benefits. There are two different kinds of disability benefits: service-connected disability benefits and non-service-connected disability pension benefits. A service-connected disability is an injury or illness that occurred or was diagnosed while you were on active duty. The VA also provides benefits to veterans with non-service-connected disabilities. One's not related to your service, but they are only for lower-income veterans. Let's start with service-connected disability benefits. The amount of compensation here depends on the severity of the disability. This severity will be reflected in a rating by the Veterans Administration from 0% to 100%. In addition to injuries received during your service, the disability could also be an injury or illness that you already had that was aggravated while you were on active duty. It could also be a secondary condition caused by another injury. Any of these allow you to apply for service-connected disability. So how do you prove that the injury is service-connected? The best evidence is medical records for when you were on active duty, VA records, and other medical records. You can also use buddy statements, testimony from witnesses about the injury, as well as Purple Hearts and combat citations. Injuries received during the time you were in combat are generally assumed to be service-connected. There are also some situations where certain disabilities are assumed to be service-connected. These are called presumptive disabilities. You can request your military records and military medical records with the standard Form 180. You can also request a C-file, which includes all of your VA records to support the claim. The amount of compensation you get for a service-connected injury is based on how much it impacts your ability to work and care for yourself. The VA assigns a rating to each injury from 10% to 100%. There is a 0% rating for injuries that are dormant but could become a problem later. The higher the rating, the more the compensation. A veteran can get multiple disability ratings, 10% for this one, 40% for that one, 50% for another. But you can't get service-connected disability payments of more than 100%. Veterans can also get non-service-connected pension. Non-service-connected disability pension is a needs-based program for veterans with wartime service who are permanently and totally disabled or over the age of 65. The disability does not have to have any connection to the veteran's period of military service. Veterans' disability pensions are complicated. Head over to www.texaslawhelp.org/veteransvideos for information and referrals to lawyers. This video is about the special legal impact on veterans of disputes about family and kids. Basically, lawsuits that involve custody, visitation, or access to kids, the right to make decisions concerning the children, and child support. Let's start with child support. Every parent has a duty to support their kids. That means unless parental rights have been legally terminated or the child has turned 18, there are basically no excuses here. It doesn't matter if you don't have the right to see your child. Child support is paid by non-custodial parents, meaning parents who are not the primary caregiver with whom the child lives most of the time, to custodial parents to help them support the children. Basically, you need to pay a certain percentage of your net monthly resources, your income after taxes are taken out, depending on how many kids the support payment is covering. Your net monthly resources include money you earn from work or self-employment, as well as all non-employment income like stock dividends or rental income. Your service-connected disability compensation does count as resources, but only benefits that you are actually receiving, not benefits you've applied for or expect to receive. If you have a disability rated at 30% or more, then your dependents qualify for their own monthly payment based on your disability. This usually offsets your child support obligation. In other words, it does not count as resources. Reservists and members of the National Guard can have their custody arrangements upended by a deployment. The child's other parent gets custody of the children while you are deployed, but then once you return, the custody arrangement goes back to what it was before. In legalese, deployment cannot be considered a period of absence. It cannot be considered abandoning your children. So it cannot be considered a material and substantial change in the situation. When negotiating custody with the child's other parent, ask your lawyer to include language about the possibility of deployment. The bottom line is that if you are a veteran, reservist, or National Guard member, and you are getting divorced or are separated from a child's other parent, talk to a lawyer, because things can get very complicated. Head over to www.texaslawhelp.org/veterans-videos for information and referrals to lawyers.